Alongside head Javelina baseball coach Jason Gonzales, I'm Mark and Sarah for Javelina Athletics. And Tarleton coming in here for a 4-game series against you guys, Coach, starting on Friday. You come off kind of a roller coaster month of March, but you still enter this final month of the season with plenty of conference games left to play. How do you assess where your team is at this point in time in the season?
Well, going into last weekend, I thought we were playing really well. Came off of a very good 3 out of 4 series win versus West Texas, and then go into Cameron and really take care of business game 1, and thought we had it set up to, possibly win the series. And then for the next 3 games, didn't play well. So it was disappointing, but at the same time, like you said, there's a lot of conference games ahead of us, tremendous series at home against Tarleton this weekend. And so the bottom line is we got to go in and take care of business.
Yeah, obviously this is a Tarleton team coming in that probably hasn't started the season the way they wanted to, but still a lot of talented players on their roster that they're bringing in here. What is it that you guys need to do to try and, like you said, try and have a successful series and take advantage of an opportunity here at home?
Well, going into every weekend, what we talk about is controlling what we can control, and we've always got to be worried and focused upon us. Last weekend, there was a couple of mental lapses, a couple of physical errors, and if we don't have max awareness with us the entire 27 outs that we play, then we leave ourselves open to some vulnerabilities. And so what we've got to go out and do is we've got to pitch like we've been doing. We've got to continue to be aggressive on the bases. We bring a Tarleton team in here that's undergone a coaching change right before the season. No doubt it's less than ideal for that program to kind of go through all this right before the season. So, again, if we can go in and take care of business, I like where we are right now.
You mentioned the pitching staff. This has been a really interesting last couple of weeks for Eric Sandos. Had 2 really big relief outings against West Texas, and then had, through 8 innings, a relief against Cameron during the course of that series. He's really been an important stabilizing force in your bullpen. What is it that he's been doing well that's allowed him to have so much success so far this season?
Well, what he's done consistently all year long is he's come in and he's thrown strikes, and he throws from an unorthodox pitching motion and pitching mechanics, and so again, he's a senior. He's been through a lot of baseball games. He's got a lot of innings under his belt, but the fact that he can go in there and control the strike zone from an unorthodox position, it's a little discomforting for a hitter to go in and face somebody that's throwing from that arm angle. So, but again, he has stabilized a lot of our bullpen, and there's several times where we haven't used him the first 3 games, which allows us to go to him early on Sunday, and we'll continue to do that. Again, ideally we'd like to use him 1 or 2 innings 2 or 3 times a weekend, but if we haven't used him, then we're gonna let it go for an extended period of time on Sunday.
Kind of a difficult, when you have a pitcher coming from that angle, kind of makes it difficult for a hitter to adjust after seeing over the top or 3/4 all weekend. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, very fair. You don't see a whole lot of that, and so I think the problem when hitters are facing that is you don't get to see him that often, and so if we can eliminate hitters seeing him 3 times, because at that point in time you start to get a little bit more familiar with him. So if we can limit him to 1 or 2 times throughout the lineup, then he's going to continue to be very effective.
You guys have had a super interesting situation from a catching standpoint this season. Obviously, you were fortunate enough for the previous 4 years to have a guy in Christian Caudle who held down that spot and did an excellent job. You come into this season with a number of guys fighting for that spot, and you have now 3 guys who are going well. Bonas, Melcher, and Will Arnold are all swinging the bat well. How do you manage a situation like that from a coaching standpoint?
Well, it's not easy because, what we as a coaching staff, we kind of say we've got a 1A, a 1B, and a 1C. There's not 1, 2, or 3. And all these guys we feel very comfortable with. And so sometimes it goes offensively versus matchups. Both Bonas and Melcher, left-hand hitters, they've been doing very well against right-hand hitters. And Will Arnold, conversely, has done well against left-hand pitching. So we can kind of play some matchups there. All of them we feel very comfortable with, from a defensive standpoint. And so I guess the blessing in all of this is nobody's really, extending legs and having to catch a whole lot of innings behind the plate. I think we're all going to be fresh. All those guys are going to be fresh going into hopefully what is some postseason play for us.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. We'll see you on the diamond. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Mark. Always a pleasure.